Wow, that's a lot of Hot Wheels. Hello! Hello! YouTube. I'm Joe Donohue. Welcome to a King of the Hill race. I've got 25 feet of 2 lanes, so that's actually like 50 feet of orange Hot Wheels track lined up and ready to go for a big event where we see which of these 128 Hot Wheels cars is the fastest. Single elimination bracket. We will get down to a 2-car final out of this group, and it will be exciting to see which 2 come out on top. We will introduce each pair of cars as we get them to the starting line, because otherwise we'll be here for 2 minutes talking about all these cars. So we're ready for an exciting day of racing here in the event of Hot Wheels cars. So without further ado, let's start racing. Alrighty, race number 1, we've got the F1 racer in the near lane and the far lane being the double vision. That's what it's called. Here we go. We start them off. It's double vision. Our next race has a NASCAR truck against a Lotus Europa Special, and my sister's helping me now because she's a sweetie. So whenever you're ready, Maggie. Oh! The Lotus comes off the track and becomes a distance race, which goes to the NASCAR truck. Alright, we're going to have a big fan base for this little go-kart here. He's going to race against the Shadow Can-Am car. We'll see which one goes further whenever you're ready. Oh! The Shadow comes off the course and the go-kart is going to get further. Next race, both of these cars have raced in my Coca-Cola Hot Wheels racing series that I used to do, the Mazda Furai versus Mad Manga. Smooth race the whole way, goes to Mad Manga. We have a Matchbox versus Hot Wheels race. The near lane to us will be the Opel DTM car, and the far lane will be the Monte Carlo, I believe that is. And the Monte Carlo will advance. Alright, next race. This shouldn't be much of a race. There's a Hot Wheels Porsche in the near lane, and the far lane is a green light AMC Javelin. Green light cars don't really go that far, but I thought I'd throw it in just for the variety of it. So, easy victory for the Porsche. Next race, near lane, is an orange Lamborghini. On the far side is one of the oldest cars in my collection. It is a 19-year-old Solar, so we'll see if it can win. Not going to get there. It is going to go to the Lamborghini. That's kind of a shame. I like that car a lot, but it's old. The 8th race is a Jeep Cherokee versus a Thunderstreak. That's a close one. Oh, the Jeep pulls it back. The Jeep won. Race 9, a Porsche 935 versus a Porsche 934. 935 takes the lead. 935 to the finish. Ford GT versus a Jeep Grand Cherokee, I believe. Jeep's ahead. Ford GT pulls back and goes to the next round. So here we have, I think the oldest car in the entire bracket on the far side is called TNT, one of my dad's old cars, versus an Alfa Romeo DTM car. Let's see what goes. Might be the oldest car in the collection, but it's going to get to the next round. Next race, we have a sprint car in the near lane, and the far lane is an old NASCAR Ford. Let's see. Ford pulls ahead. That car made by Racing Champions will be advancing to the next round. Aston Martin versus Chevy Malibu. Let's get it. Aston Martin with a huge lead and a very strong victory. In the near lane, we have a Spin Master NASCAR, and the far lane, a Hot Wheels Porsche Le Mans car. Ooh, that's kind of close there. NASCAR to the line. Alright, we got a fire truck versus a Ford Trans Am Mustang. The Mustang's just got a nose. Oh, there goes the fire truck! The fire truck won! Yay! The next race, the near lane, is the Turbo Streak. The far lane from us will be the Hightailer. Maggie, Which one do you think's gonna win?
The bigger one.
The bigger one. Let's see. Wow, that wasn't what I did not expect that either, but it will be the Turbo Streak. Our next race will be a Mini Cooper versus Steve Park's old NASCAR. And just like the rest of his career, Steve Park does not do as well as he wanted to. We have a, we're on hold here.
Because I broke the car.
This is how, and then
Take that off the video.
Race number 18, a Pontiac Fiero versus a Porsche GT2. And it's going to go to the Porsche at the line. Our next race is, I forget, it's like called the Bedlam truck or something. It's made by Hot Wheels versus a 2018 Indy car made by Greenlight. And the Bedlam truck goes to the next round. Our next race, we see a Jaguar D-Type versus a Corvette Z06, I believe.
Oh no.
It's number 09. Is Z06 is the type. Oh. Corvette in front. Corvette to the line. Corvette wins. Alright, next race, Aston Martin versus a it's an Oldsmobile. Okay. Aston Martin versus Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile out front by a long shot. Takes it to the wall. Smashes hard. Wins the race. And it wasn't an Aston Martin, by the way. It was actually the Lamborghini Urus, but it doesn't win, so we don't really care anyway. Alright, next is, I believe that's a Challenger, maybe a Barracuda, versus a 2000 Williams F1 car. On the GP 2009 chassis, we'll be going to the next round. That was a fast one. Chevy Corvette versus Lancia Stratos. See who gets it. Stratos got the lead early. Corvette comes back, takes it to the line. Next race, Ford Falcon versus the GT Racer. Strong car. See what happens. Oh! I don't know what happened there. GT Racer to the line. I'm going to stand at the finish line this time. Maggie's got the Oldsmobile Trans Am car versus the only Corgi made car in the lineup, so we'll see what happens. Ooh, that's going to be the Corgi! This time we got a Ford Escape versus a 2006 Indy car, something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And the Matchbox Ford Escort goes to the victory lane. This time the first Maisto brand car, the Corvette, versus a Hot Wheels Dodge Viper. Not really much to expect from a Maisto car, but yeah. Next race, there's a Matchbox Holden versus the Hot Wheels Solar Reflex. And this one goes to Solar Reflex. This time we got a Pontiac in the near lane made by Matchbox and a Ford GT made by Hot Wheels in the far. That Ford GT is going nowhere. Pontiac to the next round. Here we have a BMW versus a Mustang Mach 1. Stretched that lead the whole way down and the Mach 1 goes to the next round. I think both of these cars raced in the same Coca-Cola Hot Wheels racing season. That would have been season 3. Car in the near lane is Camaro, actually won that championship, and the car in the far lane is the 1997 500 winner. And I guess that makes sense if he was the champion in the same season, because he just won. The back broke off of it. This time, a McLaren M8A, old Hot Wheels, one of the oldest, second oldest in the lineup, versus an Enzo Ferrari. He's gonna do it! The old car beats him! We are just halfway through the first round of racing. A Dodge Challenger versus a Porsche 356 in this one. That Porsche didn't go very far, but racing a Maisto, so wins. We got a 50-something Chevy versus a Mitsubishi Lancer. And the Mitsubishi, that was fast. I did not expect them to go that fast. This time we've got two Monte Carlos, one of them being like a street version, and the other being the 1998 car that Kevin Harvick drove in NASCAR. The street Hot Wheels version is going to go the distance. Next race, custom Ford Mustang versus an open Roadster. Kind of close. Lost it there. Mustang. Next race brought to you by Metal Chassis. We've got the Indy 500 car versus a Honda S2000. And the Johnny Lightning goes the distance and wins. Another car sponsored by Golf. It's a custom Chevelle versus the IRL car Greg Ray drove. Easy victory for the custom Chevelle, but Greg Ray almost got there. Alright, we got a Volvo versus a NASCAR. Let's see what we got. NASCAR wins. Next race is the Super Blitzen in the near lane, and the far lane is an old Model T sponsored by Hershey's. That was a big time victory for the Super Blitzen. This next race is the epitome of the 1980s, the big supercar matchup of the Porsche 959 and the Ferrari F40. And for Hot Wheels collectors abroad, you know darn well that that's one of the best cars Hot Wheels ever made. The F40 advances. Alright, near lane we got the Soccer Boy, and on the far side, Corvette C7R. Close race, close to the line, and goes to the Corvette. Spider-Man and Ron. Who's Ron?
This one.
Oh. We got a Thunderstreak versus an old Brabham. Started off close. Thunderstreak blisters to the victory. Remember before when I thought that Lamborghini was an Aston? It finally showed up, and it's going to race that Ferrari. And it's going to beat that Ferrari. Next race, we got a car made by Tiger Wheels. In the near lane, it's a Camaro, and the far side is a Greenwood Corvette. Greenwood, Corvette to the win. Yep.
Me.
We got ourselves a Triumph racing a Top Fuel dragster. This is going to be fun. The Triumph will be triumphant and beat him, but it was nice to bring him out. What did you call him?
Nothing.
We got a Grabber in the near lane and a Hudson Hornet in the far lane. The Grabber is going to take it to the line. This one will be interesting. We got a Maesto Hummer in the near lane, and in the far lane is a super modified made by Hot Wheels. Super modified gets to the line. Hummer, good try. Okay, next race we've got the So Fine, or as Maggie called it, Barbie's car after she had a mental breakdown, versus one of the big competitors for our tournament, the Ford F-150. And showing what he's capable of, the F-150 blows it away.
Wait, which way is it from?
You got it. Old number 3 versus an Alfa Romeo made by Matchbox. Alfa Romeo to the line. This one's going to be fun. We got a Dodge pickup truck versus a VW buggy. It was close for a while. Truck wins. We got a fire truck versus a rally car. Let's see what happens. Fire truck had the edge. Fire truck pulls ahead. Both fire trucks win the first round. Next race is a McLaren P1 versus some sort of small Japanese car sponsored by Coke. It's going to go to the McLaren. 2 matchboxes in the next race. It's a Nissan truck versus a Buick LeSabre. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it, but the Buick's going to get to the line. Next race, Dodge Viper in the near lane and a Solaire in the far lane. The Viper put up a good race, but the Solaire wins. In the next race, the Pikes Peak Celica in the near lane and something in the far lane. And whatever the heck it is, it's really fast. What is it? Let's check it out. It is the 64 Rivera. We have an Aston Martin in the near lane, and in the far lane, a Pontiac Firebird. To the win is the Aston. Next race is a Tyrrell P34 versus a Mitsubishi WRX, I think. They're both kind of slow to the line, but it will be the Mitsubishi Evo. We got a BMW versus the Shadow Jet. BMW wins it.
At once, like 6 years after I posted them. No, it was like 2 years after I posted them. They all got copyright strikes. I got like 10 copyright strikes in one day, and I got like 12 emails about it. It was like, you cannot do this. I got like blocked from commenting for a week or something weird. Like it was weird.
Oh, that's great. That's great. All right, Dodge Charger versus an Auto World Camaro. The Auto World is the only one in the group, but it's fast. Next race, Ferrari 250 GTO versus a Chevy panel van. Ferrari's pushing hard, but the panel van's gonna get there first. Sorry, Dad. Third to last race of the first round, we got a Willys versus a Ferrari. Here we go. He almost lost the lead, brought it back. It's the Willys. Ferrari versus Audi. Here we go. And the Ferrari is going to win it by a landslide. Next race is exciting. We got a Pagani versus the Mercedes CLK. The Le Mans car. That's going to come to the line first. Alright, so we're halfway there. We've got our field down to 64, and the second round is about to start. Starting off this round, Double Vision versus the NASCAR Craftsman truck. And Double Vision to the line. Alright, let's make some noise! We got the Mad Manga versus the Go-Kart! Monte Carlo versus Porsche 934. Oh, it's close. Oh, there it goes. Monte Carlo to the win. Up next, a Lamborghini by Hot Wheels and a Jeep Cherokee by Matchbox. The Jeep flies into the next round. Porsche 935 versus Ford GT. Ooh, shoosh kebabs. That was close. Ford GT got it. Next race in the near lane, it's the Ford NASCAR, and in the far lane, the TNT. And going the distance will be the Ford. Next race is the Spin Master NASCAR versus an Aston Martin. And it's gonna go to the Hot Wheels Aston Martin. Next race, just participated in intermission. It's a fire truck versus the Turbo Streak. And the Turbo Streak is going to retire the fire truck from the race. Porsche GT2 versus Mini Cooper. This one to the Porsche, but it was close.
It's gonna win.
The red one's going to win, quote Maggie. It's the Bedlam truck versus the Golf Corvette. You were wrong. We got a Johnny Lightning Oldsmobile versus a Hot Wheels GP 2009. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, God, they came to the line close. Last race was pretty close. I actually expected that Johnny Lightning to go the whole way, so oh well. GT Racer versus Corvette. Down the slope to the line. Corvette goes to the next round. We got a Matchbox versus a Corgi for this one. And it's going to the Matchbox. We've got a Viper versus the Solar Reflex in the next one. Solar Reflex is so shiny. He wins. We've got a Firebird versus a Mustang, 2 Matchbox cars. Here we go. That Firebird is all over the place, but gets to the line first. McLaren versus Camaro. Now the McLaren is going to lose, and the Camaro retires, the oldest car left. Porsche 356 versus Mitsubishi Lancer. Shot out of cannon. Mitsubishi to the line. Next race, Chevy versus Mustang. This one to the Mustang. This time it's a 1975 IndyCar versus a custom Chevelle. Close, right on him. IndyCar to the win. Our next race, number 2 versus number 3, NASCAR versus the Super Blitzen. Super Blitzen to the next round. Alright, we got an F40 versus a Corvette. Oh! Oh! No, I thought that was gonna go. Hot Wheels collector item number 69 beats out the Vet. The next race, Aston Martin DBS versus the Thunderstreak. The comeback is strong through these past races. The Thunderstreak gets it. Now we got the Greenwood Corvette racing the Triumph. And this one to the Greenwood Corvette. This race, interesting one. Grabber versus the Super Modified. And it goes to the Super Modified. Next race, Ford F-150 versus the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa hung on pretty good, but the Ford gets to the line first. Alright, we got 2 trucks. Pickup truck versus fire truck. Fire truck had the lead for a brief moment, but the pickup gets it. Alright, now we got the Widowmaker versus the Buick. Buick took the lead. Widowmaker came back and gets it. Next race is going to be a fast one. The Rivera that's been surprising versus the Solar that everybody knows is fast. Oh, the Rivera pulls it off and goes on. Okay, we got an Aston Martin versus a Mitsubishi. Somebody's texting me. Let's do this. Aston Martin wins it. We got the Auto World Camaro versus a BMW. And it's going to the Auto World. Next up, it's the Johnny Lightning panel van versus the Willys Hot Wheels thing. Yeah. Panel van to the next round. Next race, Ferrari 308 versus Mercedes CLK thing. Ferrari wins it. We start off this next round with 32 cars. Double Vision and Mad Manga start them off. Double Vision takes it home. Jeep versus Monte Carlo. I think the Jeep looked like it came off the track, but it still got to the line first. This time, 2 Fords. GT versus a something, whatever it is. And it's going to be the Ford GT. This one should be good. The Aston Martin 177 versus the Turbo Streak. Oh, I told you it'd be close. Aston Martin wins it. Alright, it's our last Porsche in the group versus the Golf Corvette. Oh, well, I didn't think he was going to get there anyway. It's going to the Corvette. The GP 2009 versus another Corvette. And the GP 2009 wins it. The Matchbox Ford Escort versus the Hot Wheels Solar Reflex. And the Solar Reflex retires him. Firebird versus Camaro. That was close. It's still close. It's the Camaro. Mitsubishi versus Ford Mustang. Oh, that was close the whole way. It's going to go to the Lancer, but good racing. Here we go. A 1975 IndyCar versus the Super Blitzen. And retires the Super Blitzen. F40 versus Thunderstreak. And he does it! The Thunderstreak eliminates the F40. This one's the Greenwood Corvette versus the Super Modified. And the Super Modified advances. We got two pickups, a Ford versus a Dodge. And it goes to the F-150. Next race, the Rivera versus the Widowmaker. And to the line, the Rivera passes him back and wins it. The Auto World Camaro versus the Hot Wheels Aston Martin. No challenge from the Aston anyway. It was going to the Camaro from the start. The Ferrari versus the panel van. Had a tight race there, but the panel van goes on. We start the Sweet 16 with the Double Vision and the Jeep. And the Double Vision will win it, but the Jeep had a really strong run. Ford GT versus Aston Martin 177. Not a tight race. Aston with the win. We got a Corvette Z06 and a GP 2009. Fairly close. GP 2009 gets it. Solar Reflex versus the Hot Wheels Camaro. And to the line, it's the Hot Wheels Camaro. Johnny Lightning IndyCar versus the Mitsubishi. Started strong, coming back on the other side. The Lancer did not get there. Two open wheel cars this time, the Super Modified versus the Thunderstreak. That's the Thunderstreak there. To the line first. Now this one's going to be exciting. Two very fast cars, the F-150 and the Rivera. And there you have it. Rivera eliminates the Ford. Last race of the round, an Auto World versus a Johnny Lightning. Ooh, that was close, and it's going to the Johnny Lightning. We're down to the final 8 cars, and we start them off with the Double Vision and the Aston Martin. And it goes to the Double Vision. Next race, the Camaro versus the GP 2009. And it's going to the Camaro. Alright, one of the last two Johnny Lightnings, it's the 1975 IndyCar versus the Thunderstreak. Make that mistake too much. And he comes back and passes him for the win. Next one is going to be good. The Buick Rivera versus the Chevy panel van. Tried to come back, but it goes to the panel van. And we start off the final 4 with the Camaro versus the Double Vision. Easy win for the Double Vision. The final race of the final 4, the Thunderstreak versus the panel van. And it's going to the Thunderstreak. We hope you've enjoyed the intermissions and the racing. We're down to our final 2. It's the Thunderstreak versus the Double Vision. One race, one winner. It's the Thunderstreak! Alright fans, that's how it goes. 127 losers, and the Thunder Streak is the winner. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and are satisfied with the action you've seen today. We'll give him a victory lap. The Thunder Streak is your winner. Thank you to Mags Donohue for helping me make this race. And thank you for tuning in. You want anything else to say before we sign off? Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see ya next time.